Hey guys, and I'm not sure if you could hear it. Yeah, that sound wakes us up every day at 6 a.m. But we will talk about it a little bit later. 新年快乐! Happy Chinese New Year and Happy Spring Festival. 春节快乐. You know that the whole China, and maybe not only China, celebrated the Lunar New Year a couple of days ago. And the celebration was pretty wild. And I thought it would be cool to make a vlog about it and compare how people celebrate the New Year in China, in Russia, in Western countries, and see what differences there are and what we all have in common. So, stay tuned. Well, as you all know, Kunming is located in Yunnan province, and it is also called the City of Eternal Spring, or also the City of Flowers, because flowers here bloom almost all year round due to the southern climate. It is very sunny, everything is green. Except today. What the hell is going on? It is snowing here in Kunming in the south of China. It is -2 or 3 degrees. And as you can see, yeah, we have here palms that are covered in snow. So that's an amazing opportunity for local kids to play with snow. Yeah, all of this is crazy. And it really reminds me how we celebrate New Year in Russia. And it finally gives me the New Year vibe that we didn't have here during the regular New Year, but surprisingly we have for the Chinese New Year. Anyway, we went to meet with our friends and hang out in the city before celebrating the New Year. Chinese New Year. Let's answer the question. Why do Chinese people have their own New Year? Well, first of all, it is because they have two commonly used calendars, the Gregorian calendar and the lunar calendar. Well, the first one is widely used in most of the countries in most of the world, and the lunar one is commonly used in mostly Asian countries. The lunar calendar is connected with the phases of the moon, and that's why the dates in this calendar always get shifted in different directions in comparison to Gregorian calendar. So according to Gregorian calendar, the Chinese New Year takes place on 29th of January. So 29th of January by Gregorian calendar is actually 1st of January by lunar calendar. Yeah, and probably some Chinese people are gonna watch this video, and please correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm saying anything wrong. Alright, so we know that the date of the Chinese New Year changes every year. And now let's talk about the New Year in Russia and how it is celebrated in Russia. Because there is actually not much to say about the Western New Year. We all know that it is celebrated on the night from 31st of December to 1st of January. People in Russia also celebrate the New Year on the night from the 31st of December to 1st of January. But actually in Russia we also have the Old New Year that is celebrated on the night from 13th of January to 14th of January. Why is it so? Actually, before the USSR, Russia was living in accordance with Julian calendar. And so when the new government came to power, they announced a shift to the Gregorian calendar, and it became the official calendar for everyone. But Russian Orthodox Church refused to use the new calendar, and they decided to stick to the Julian calendar. That's why many religious people in Russia continue to celebrate the Old New Year according to the Julian calendar. And also because of this, Christmas in Russia is celebrated on 7th of January, not in December like in other countries. Damn, comparing all these New Years is more complicated than I thought. But alright, let's go back to our vlog. I think one thing that all cultures have in common is gathering together for a nice family dinner. We got lucky to be invited to celebrate Chinese New Year with my good friend Mabol, who is a Chinese tea master, and we also met some nice foreign friends there. And take a look at this couple. They are super brave. That's Jeff and Yasmina, and they're from Bulgaria and Belgium. They surprised us a lot when they told us that they travel around the East and Southeast Asia by hitchhiking and riding bicycles. Can you imagine how crazy it is? They already went to several countries and had so many cool stories to tell. We could listen to them almost the whole evening, and we were really lucky to celebrate the New Year in such company. especially considering how warmly welcoming my friend Mabel was. By the way, Mabel has her own YouTube channel, so please go and check it out. And these guys also journal their travels on Instagram, so don't forget to go check out their page and subscribe. So we spent a great evening together, ate dumplings, hot pot, and just talked a lot about different things and enjoyed the New Year's Eve. And of course, we also talked a lot about different New Year traditions in different countries. Mabel explained that the main attributes of the Chinese New Year is decorating everything in red color, giving red pockets with money as present. Yeah, it is more common than buying something as a present. Also, there is a lot of food that has a symbolical meaning. And the interesting thing is that the Chinese New Year, which is also called the Spring Festival, starts a 2-week period of different celebrations with different interesting activities for each day. As you can see, people in China really like to party. 2 weeks, wow. And of course, all around China, people set off fireworks and firecrackers. And it is actually related to some ancient legends from Chinese folklore. One of these legends tells us about the terrible monster called Nian. This monster would come down from mountains to villages and it would destroy all the houses. It would steal the cattle and eat people. But once there was an old man who came to villagers and ordered them to do a lot of noise and burn the gunpowder to scare off the monster. And it actually worked. The monster got scared and ran away. And the legend says that from that time, people do this ritual not to let the monster come back. And I suppose also because it's super fun. And I believe that there are even more legends, but seems like that's the main one. So there is no Chinese Santa, only brave people fighting monsters. But let me say a couple of words about the legends and traditions around the Russian New Year. Well, in Russia the main celebrations are pretty much like in a Western country. We also put the Christmas tree, give each other presents, gather together for a dinner, count seconds till the New Year, and have hangover for a couple of days. The main difference is, just like I said, that we have the Old New Year and we also celebrate Christmas in January. And probably there are more different Orthodox religious activities that I'm not really aware of. But there is one big difference between the Western New Year and the Russian New Year. And it is in the person who comes to your house to bring presents. You know, in the West, you have a funny fat old man named Santa that comes and brings presents to good kids. And in Russia, we have Ded Moroz, or Grandpa Cold. Usually he is depicted as this big, huge man with wide shoulders, wearing red, blue, sometimes even white clothing. And very often with, traditional ornament on it. And he is a constant character of different Russian New Year legends, cartoons, and sometimes movies. His origins are a bit unclear, but let me check. Some historians say that originally Ded Moroz was a pagan deity or an embodiment of winter and cold. There are stories of him that date to 19th century or 18th century, where he was depicted as one of the spirits of nature, whom travelers could meet in forests, usually in winter. But most of the time it was a good spirit that would help travelers. So even if he was like some sort of a god or a spirit, he was a good one. And as you may remember, Santa has many companions with him, like reindeers, elves, anybody else. But usually Ded Moroz has only one constant companion. It is his granddaughter, and her name is Snegurочка. I'm not sure how to translate her name properly, but yeah, she's the most common, most constant companion of Ded Moroz. Sometimes there are different ones, like a snowman, like the New Year boy in the times of Soviet Union, and maybe others, depends on the story. And there are actually many stories about him. Some of them are pretty cheerful, and some of them are pretty creepy. But anyway, you can find a lot of movies about him, especially Soviet movies, with Ded Moroz as one of the characters. But let's go back to China. Chinese New Year is famous for its fireworks, so we decided to shoot an amazing scenery of fireworks above the city. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, we wanted to make such video and we decided to go to the top of the mountain. But unfortunately the mountain was closed for that day. Even though we checked it several times and Xiaohongshu, Red Note, said that the path is clear, you can go, but the security guy had another opinion about that. But anyway, that didn't stop us. So we decided to use a drone to film the night sky filled with fireworks. But it was a very cold and foggy night. It was a bit disappointing, but we decided to give it a shot, and the results were actually not that bad. That was a Chinese New Year 2025, and I hope you enjoyed my little vlog about it. So please like, subscribe, and let me know how you celebrate the New Year in your country. So thank you, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.